with his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, wearing black with white, also weighing in at 167.6 pounds. In his professional career, 54 victories, including 36 big wins by knockout, only one defeat with 2 draws, and he's undefeated for 6 years, and considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best in the world. He's the former 2-time light middleweight world champion, former middleweight world champion, former light heavyweight world champion, the reigning, defending super middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, representando al gran campeón, Saúl Canelo.
What's going on, everybody? D-Style Boxing here. Man, what a round table show we just had. Let me tell you something, man. Everybody subscribe to Maestro A. That's youtube.com, Maestro A, here on YouTube. Shout out to everybody. Man, this is round table overtime. Okay, this is the one show where we just do afterwards, you know what I mean, all that good stuff. If you want to give your quick thoughts, the link is right there. Okay, doesn't mean I'm gonna let you. It depends who it is, of course. Okay. Shout out to Max, I appreciate it, brother. Calix Boxing, Saul Alvarez, even Canelo's on here, you know what I mean. He says a new subscriber. Shout out to him. I don't think that's Canelo, but still, shout out to you. All right, Chicano Prophet Lee Groves on here. Lee Groves, in light of talk about Canelo waiting, wanted to fight Usyk at 201 pounds, so that the heavyweight titles would be at stake. Would it be hard to persuade anyone he'd be avoiding the smaller Spence? Holy shit. And there's a brief talk about possible fight between Canelo and WBC cruiserweight titleist Macabre before Bivol was named as the official opponent. Hey, shout out to you, brother. Much appreciated. Shout out to everybody tuning in right now, man. I don't know how long I'm going to be on, to be honest with you. I have no clue. But I'm still glad to have all of y'all on right now, man. This should be a good show. Excuse me while I go ahead and share this on Twitter. Okay, this is Round Table 79 Overtime. Okay, we just had a great show. Shout out to Remy. All right, he says, "Nah, I'm not the real Canelo. I'm chocolate, darker." There you go. All right, Frost Nation in the building, says Calix. Well, there you go. All right, look, man. 2 topics I want to concentrate on. One of them is, did Saul Canelo Alvarez duck Errol Spence? We've been hearing this all week. He ducked him. He wanted no smoke. He ducked the smoke. He's scared that he was offered $55 million. Now, granted, it was Spence or Benavidez, 168 pounds, but they'll have that. They'll throw in that in there too. He doesn't want to fight Benavidez. He ducked him. He wanted no piece of him. The girl says, why not? I'm not saying it's not about why not. I'm just saying the question is, did he duck him? You know what I mean? Granted, are you guys shocked that this came out the week of Canelo's fight? Think about the timing. Can you take a moment and think about the timing of it? Just think about the timing. All right? I want you to think about the timing of it. This story comes out that Saul Canelo Alvarez ducked the smoke the week of his fight. Right? He signed the DAZN deal months ago. Canelo signed the DAZN deal months ago. But the week of, they decided to throw in, we offered the Spence fight. They didn't even say they offered Canelo the Spence fight on the lead up to the Spence fight with Ugas. They waited, like not even when Spence was fighting. They waited when Canelo was fighting. That's when they decided to go ahead and say, oh my God, he ducked the smoke. We offered him $45 million against Charlo, and he didn't take it. We offered him $55 million against Spence, and he didn't take it. He's scared. We offered him $100 million. An average of $50 million a pop, of 45 for one, 55 for the second. First of all, what does that say about Charlo, first of all? Is it ducking Charlo? Is he scared of Charlo? What does that say? Like, how much faith does PBC have on a dude that just struggled against Montiel? How to do to they tell me, all y'all say is Montiel, so I gotta say Yildirim. Yeah, but Canelo fought like multiple times, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like Canelo fought multiple times, ladies and gentlemen. Who cares? We'll aside from that. So anyway, he ducked Errol. I said as a joke yesterday, watch, you're going to say he was ducking Errol Spence. What happens? They couldn't help themselves. A bunch of content creators started coming out saying that he's ducking Errol Spence. Nando Llamas, I appreciate the support, brother. PVC in their feelings blew the Fox contract. Man. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Writing Yogi. She says, saludos, Eric. Is anyone excited for this weekend? We're really excited. It's Canelo fight weekend. Canelo's about to fight. He's about to fight Bivol, a legit 175-pounder. But I got to keep hearing about how he's scared. Oh, but he's so scared. He's scared. He don't want nothing. He wants no peace. Shout out to everybody watching on Twitter, by the way. I'm also going live on Twitter. Yo, Dista, did you watch Marquez's interview? I did not. I could only imagine what Marquez said. Feel free to tell me what he said, and we'll go from there. I think I saw something like, why did he fight the best of him divisions? When he fighting Bivol, but he's not fighting the best of his divisions. Like maybe he said something like that. Am I pretty spot on? Lee Rose, the great boxing mind on here. Hoping to have him on next week on the roundtable. He says, Canelo likes to fight foes who can give him a new title for which to fight and at a weight at which he feels comfortable. He's not fighting 160, and he's not fighting anyone who doesn't have a belt. There you go. Roddy Yogi says, Buzzy, ducking is the buzzword of casuals these days. He's ducking! Like that's what I heard. He's ducking. He's scared. Like, they offered him $55 million. Like, by the way, what does that even mean? Like, oh, we offered it Spence or Benavidez. Like, so Canelo got to pick? Like, what does that even mean? What the fuck is that? I never heard of a deal like that. Like, oh, you get to pick this guy or that guy. I haven't seen a decision like that since Batman Forever. Okay, when he has to pick between a chick, okay, or Robin. All right, and he dove in for the chick first for sure. Like he dove like. You know, I mean, saved her, and then he saved Robin. In fairness, you know, but still, okay. Really put him in a predicament, but he did. You know, I'm just saying he didn't pick his sidekick that's been by his side fighting for him tooth and nail. No, he picked the piece of ass, right? But with that said, I'm trying to understand how is Canelo ducking Spence. What do you mean? Like, oh, he's ducking Spence. He's scared. Like about what? Hypothetical, they should have let Robin die. Damn. What the hell's going on with this dude? It's his trusted sidekick. All right? He was willing to put on armor with fucking nipples on it and shit the whole night. I'm just saying. You do that, hey, you got it, okay? He's scared. He's scared of Errol Spence. He's scared. He didn't want it. He ran scared. He ran to the arms of Bivol. Yo, I didn't know, like showing you're scared, like you run up to 175 pounds. That's just crazy, okay? Everybody knows Canelo wouldn't be getting any credit for beating Spence at 164. I'm sorry. You wouldn't get any credit for that. You wouldn't, right? Of course, that's a catchweight fight. I think Errol Spence will get destroyed. It's got to keep it honest. Not because Spence is a bad fighter, but because Spence doesn't belong in that weight class. Like, really? He just doesn't. Like Spence doesn't belong there, bro. Just being honest, you know? Remy, how's it going, brother? What happened to avoiding now? Now he's ducking. Let me tell you something, man. First of all, nobody believes. All right, what's going on, Chicano?
What's happening, brother? How you doing?
Why is he scared, bro? Why is he ducking Spence? What's going on? He's ducking the smoke.
Spence, I know he's 147.
Fix. He ducked 55 million. Fix.
Hey, man, Spence is just too good, too powerful. You know what I mean? He's taller. He's got the length. You know what I'm saying? And Canelo doesn't stand pressure well. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that Canelo ducked the smoke. You know what I'm saying? I just got to be honest. I feel this big sense of relief that he's run up to 175 pounds to fight an undefeated defending champion.
I don't know, man. He went up to fight another Euro bum. Okay, to duck the real smoke against Spence. Like, Canelo's been ducking Spence for a while, brother. I just got to be honest. Like, I remember when Spence turned pro, all of a sudden, like Canelo was having that, like, I'm going up to middleweight energy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, why didn't Canelo try to go back down to 147 when Spence turned pro? Fix.
That's right, man.
What do you got to say about that?
Well, I mean, you make some good points. I think that a fighter can move up in weight class to duck some heat, but I'll tell you what, dude, as far as all this is concerned, I think it's comical. I'd like to give some props to people who've come out and said, hey, even on the other side, the PPC cult, I've had a couple of members that I've heard say, well, this is a bit too far-fetched. Like, I can't co-sign this. Y'all are tripping. And it's the truth, man. This idea that Canelo is somehow ducking Spence is just funny to me. And it's the Charlo fans too, man. Like, I know that the Charlo fans know that the Canelo fans aren't really worried about that fight. And I know that the Spence fans know deep down, right, that the Canelo fans are not worried about this fight. Like, it would be comical. Actually, you know what? To be honest with you, I would like to see it, to be honest with you. Not right now.
Yeah, but you know what I find funny? Remember what Canelo said? I might think about going down to 160 to fight Spence. Okay, these same dudes are saying, "Oh, you'll go down to fight Spence, but you don't want no piece of Charlo, right?" Like they were basically insinuating he was acting like a bully. Now, really quick, get right to Yogi. Nothing Canelo does will please everyone. He just needs to focus on his legacy, his progression. Haplotype says, "My question is, if Canelo's fucking up so badly, who's doing better? Who's doing better?" What do you got, Chicano?
Hey, man, you know what? I don't think anybody's doing better. I mean, Canelo's actively claiming the greatest fighter of this generation. The only person who you could possibly make a case would maybe be like Tyson Fury. And then after that, maybe Crawford, depending on what he does. But he'd have to have one hell of a run. And they would have to race their way up to Canelo and then beat him to make a case as being the greatest fighter of this generation.
You know what, though? Like, I remember Jamal had an interview and he said, hey, me and Spence are homeboys. I will never fight Spence, right? Even though Spence said I would fight him, but he said I wouldn't fight him. The fact that like I think when Canelo fought Lara, he knew about Spence through the Lara camp, through Jamal. Jamal's so high on Spence, he knew about Spence because they're boys. And Canelo was like, yo, I don't want to fight the friend, bro. Like, this dude is going to show up to his division. I got to get out of here. And Canelo went up not one, not two, but 3 weight classes to get as far away from Spence as fucking possible. Like you can't argue with facts. All right. I just put that out there. These are facts.
Hey man, it's true, man. As you know, not a lot of nice Euro bums in the 168, 175 pound division that haven't really been tested. Yeah, sure, they got weight, and sure they're powerful, and sure there's a reason that these other fighters aren't moving up. But you know what? There's just some comfort in just sliding on in there and taking out the undefeated champions.
Absolutely. Writing Yogi says none of these fighters are bums. Everyone who gets in that ring at that level should never be called bums, especially the ones that have held and defended belts. Lee Gross says some of the best fights take place between friends. One such fight was a title unification between Simon Brown and Maurice Blocker, who were best man at their weddings. Brutal fight. There you go. But Canelo, I mean, yes, I don't know, man. Like he's I think he's avoided. This is the most money he's ever been offered for a fight, $55 million. And he ducked the smoke. He's scared.
Well,
really scared.
I don't know the order in which these offers were made. Like, I'll tell you this, though. Like, I think there is some kind of path for this fight to be feasible in a year. If Spence beats Crawford, goes undisputed, and Castano beats Jermell Charlo, right? And then Spence goes up, beats Castano for undisputed at 154. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe then we could start talking about it. And then that would be some real shit, because then we could have like a 168-pound fight between them, possibly, or at least it would be for undisputed. I mean, it might be at a catch weight, but it is feasible. And let's be honest, like, yeah, dude, these PBC handlers want to start cashing these dudes out to Canelo. Like, make it happen, man. Like, we could get this going, but I mean, it's a gamble. Like, you got to risk your prize fighter. The PBC is gonna have to start risking these fighters, to kind of get that Canelo payday if they're in a much lower weight class. With somebody like Jamal Charlo, they can just kind of, fight the Sulekis of the world, until Canelo's ready to go to the other side of the street once again and just wreck house.
Yeah, but you know what? Yildirim. What do you got to say about that?
You're right, man. Canelo has the PBC in his pocket, and he wanted to fight Yildirim, so they made it happen. You got me there, D-Style. Damn. These guys are good.
It's his fault, because he fought Yildirim. He fought him.
Hey, you know what else you forgot about? Mayweather.
Damn. What's going on, Kenny? How's it going, brother? Oh, you're muted, brother.
Can never complain.
All right, what's going on, brother? What's going on, man? Hey, talk to us. What do you make of the whole Errol Spence, Canelo, quote unquote, ducked the smoke? And that's why he signed the zone deal. He ducked. He's scared. And by the way, coincidentally, this news was released the week of Canelo's fight.
It's comedic shit. Look, there's a lot of haters. Greatness, it demands haters along with fans, So there's a lot of haters that are just gonna hate. How could you be ducking anybody if you're fighting any of these smaller? How could you be ducking these smaller guys when you're fighting a bigger dude that's probably just as skilled as these smaller guys? Put these smaller guys against Bivol, right? How would these smaller guys do against Bivol, the smaller guys that he's ducking, right? That's why I think about, like, people just like to talk too much, talk a lot of trash that doesn't really make sense. Cool, they offered him whatever amount of millions. You said 55 or something along those lines. So who cares? See, the guy's not looking for millions. He's looking for legacy fights. Of course, he got to get paid his millions while fighting those legacy fights. But he's looking for legacy, bro. He's not looking for only millions. He's not retiring. They asked him if he would ever fight YouTubers like Mayweather, and he said, maybe when I'm retired. He don't care about that right now. He can make that extra easy money when he retires. And easy money being Jermall.
Yeah. I mean, look, in all seriousness, obviously, I was joking earlier. I don't think Canelo's ducking Spence. Okay, first of all, Spence is his fan. You don't want to fight his fans. You know what I mean? You're not going to pelear con his fans. Like, you know what I mean? He's his biggest fan. Every time they ask Canelo, like Spence, who's the best pound for pound? Canelo. You know what I mean? Who's the best fighter in the sport? Spence. Canelo. And Spence, who's that dude right now? Canelo. You know what I mean? Like, that dude, he's a big Canelo fan, bro. I'm just saying. Plus, look, fight Crawford. That's the fight we want to see. Okay? In your weight class, you have your own shit to deal with right now, and that is with Crawford. That's the fight we want to see. All right? If PBC is willing to offer Canelo $55 million for you to fight him, then I'm sure that they have, maybe not $55 million, but then I guess they have money to offer Crawford then to make that fight happen. All right? So they have money to play with like that. But here's something else I wanted to ask you guys about, and I wonder what the chat thinks. So I guess Usyk came out and said, yo, because he wants part of the sweepstakes too. You know what I mean? I'll get on Janie Craig if I have to. I'll do it. You know what I mean? I'll go back to 200 if it means I got to fight Canelo. I'll do it. Right? And apparently, look, I don't know how true this is. I've read things, but I don't know if Canelo actually said this or not. But if he did, you guys could tell me. But apparently, Canelo wants to fight him at 201 pounds for the heavyweight titles, which would be a catchweight fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. I have to be honest. While I wouldn't mind an Usyk fight at 200 if Canelo really is serious about that, I think that would be crazy. But I would not be in favor of a catchweight fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. That's just me. Chicano, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I do have to say I did see the interview, and when they phrased it to Canelo, it wasn't would you face Usyk at 201 pounds. It was more like would you face Usyk, right? So as far as like the weight talk, I didn't hear Canelo specifically talk about that. But he was open to the idea of facing Usyk because he said that he would fight anybody. There are definitely weight classes for a reason. There's a reason I don't think Spence should make a fool of himself and go up to fight Canelo. I didn't even like the idea of Canelo facing Makabu at cruiserweight, right? So this idea of him going up to fight Usyk, like unless this is like his last hurrah and he's truly just wants to go out on his shield one last time and just be a warrior and see what it's like to get knocked the fuck out possibly. But maybe he could pull it off. I mean, hell, only if it's a last send-off kind of thing and this is just a bloody sport and it's a beautiful sport in that sense and we're going to see two warriors go at it. But I mean, I don't want Canelo at heavyweight. I didn't want him at cruiserweight.
What do you think about if they were to do a 201-pound limit for the heavyweight title?
I'm all for it. Shit, I don't care at that point. I mean, people are going to complain. So if Usyk's down, I mean, hell, make it happen.
For the heavyweight championship of the world.
Go for it.
Kenny, talk to us.
Rolling the dice, Chicano. I see you.
What's up, Kenny?
Cooling, bro. Cooling. But yo, I'd be for the fight. I don't see why. Like, that's big shit that Canelo will fight Usyk. I didn't hear anything about catchweight either. If it was to be at a catchweight of 201 for the belts, before I answer that question, I have a question myself. Isn't the heavyweight division 200 and up? So if it's I wouldn't say if it was a limit of 201,
not in the WBC anymore, but yes, every other sanctioning body, yes.
WBC destroying shit. But yeah, so if it's at 201, I wouldn't say a limit of 201. I would say Canelo has to come in at 201. Nah. And it makes sense if 201, because Usyk will come in at 201. It is what it is. It'll be a heavyweight fight. It doesn't matter at that point what Canelo comes in. It just matters that he comes in at whatever weight. If he wants to come in at 190 again and fight a 201 pounder, that's gonna be difficult, bro. That's not easy. But if that's the challenge that the man wants to take, I'm all for it. Look, I'm not against Canelo going all the way up divisions. If he's chasing legacy, he may just go after 175. He may just go to the following division and chase belts there. Come on, man. The guy is chasing greatness and legacy. Or he may just go back down. I don't think he's going to go back to defend his titles at 168. I don't really see that happening ever again. Why would he?
Yeah, he's at. Yeah, I think he's adding muscle and like to go to 175. Like, and then if he goes to 200, he ain't going back to 168. Or even if it is still, I think they were talking about the WBC moving the WBC cruiserweight to 190 and then making the Makabu fight. But look, I wouldn't be against Usyk versus Canelo at 201. if they just fight, right? But you can't put the heavyweight championship of the world on the line at a catch weight of 201 pounds. You just can't do it.
Is it a catch weight technically? I mean, because it's
Yes.
it's
Well,
over the heavyweight limit.
You're putting a weight limit on the heavyweight champion of the world. How about you weigh in whatever you want to weigh in? He weighs in whatever you want to weigh in, and it's a real heavyweight fight.
I'm more for that. I'm more for that.
Me too. I'm just saying I'd be okay with the catch weight. That's all.
Yeah. If it means that having a catch weight is the only way that something like that would happen, then I'm all for the catch weight.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't.
And I'll tell you this.
I'm just not in favor of it. I gotta be honest.
Okay, I mean, and we could do the fantasy fight right now at 201 pounds. Like Canelo would get his ass whipped. You know, I'm not scared to say it. Like Canelo should not be going up to heavyweight to fight Usyk.
No,
That'd be legendary.
I mean,
Kenny, what are you saying, man? Are you telling me Canelo has a chance? Come on, baby. What's going on?
That'd be legendary. I mean, look.
Can't Canelo beat him?
He's 5'8". I ain't gonna say all that, but look, he's 5'8". Usyk is 6'3". I don't see Canelo putting on all that weight and being able to be as active or stalk people or not as agile. He may have more power, but it'll probably be slow power. That's why I don't think that he would go up all that weight. He would probably put that catch weight so that he could come in at like 190 or something, or 185 or something, so he could still be a little more mobile.
I don't think he can fuck with Usyk at 200. I just don't.
Usyk is a beast.
Yeah, like he's just Usyk's 6'3". I mean, and then if he weighs in at 200, like he's gonna weigh in like 210, 215 fight night. I mean, it may be more. I don't see what Canelo would do to him. Gotta be honest. I think Canelo would feel something in that first round he's never felt before, and
it's gonna be very different.
Yes. Sorry, me fans.
It's gonna be very different.
Like, but I don't know. How do you see that fight playing out, Chicano? Like, if they were to fight at cruiserweight,
I see Usyk just dancing around the ring in a very dominant fashion, going in at will, piecing Canelo up. And I don't know. I just feel like Canelo would have a very hard time even connecting at all. It would be a total mismatch, a one-sided fight. I don't think Usyk would try to go for the knockout, so I could see it going to decision in an embarrassing one-sided fight. Currently, though, you know what I mean? Like, let's see what Canelo does. You know,
he doesn't go to decision, brother.
Well, you know what?
Why would he let it go to decision?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Canelo power. That's why.
No, I think he stops Canelo in like 6 rounds or less.
Wait, like I said, I don't want this fight.
Hey, if it happens, I'm gonna watch.
I like what Remy's saying. Tyson was 6 feet tall. Like, well, what are you trying to say, Remy? That Canelo was in the mix, or like, what are you trying to?
Yeah, Lee Groves is up here saying that Burns was 5 feet 7 inches. Man, throwback. Canelo's going to be a throwback heavyweight.
Different days, smaller fighters.
I'm sorry. I don't know if Canelo can hang with Usyk. Even though I don't think he beats Usyk at 201 either, I just don't think the heavyweight title should be on the line. It's my opinion. That's as much as I'll say about that.
Yeah, I'm not arguing it. Like, I don't want the fight.
You know, but hey, it is what it is. Okay. I really hope that doesn't happen. Now, another thing, he was asked about Jake Paul, and he looked a little irritated at first, saying, "Why are you guys asking me? I'm going to fight Jake Paul." But then he said, "I don't know, maybe in 2-3 years, maybe." And then he said, "It's okay to dream." He doesn't think Jake Paul's crazy, and he kind of like he said something like that. It's okay to believe in something and all that. Well, what are your thoughts on that, Kenny?
I think he caught himself in the moment where the new age Canelo was about to come out, the motherfuckers Canelo, the payday Canelo. You know, he was about to go into that mode, and then he realized Jake Paul is not in any way on his level or challenge, and that fight will never happen. And if they're gonna ask him about it, might as well big up the work that he's doing instead of talking about fighting him, because fighting him is just so far gone, and so, like, that just doesn't even make sense. I think he also said, who knows, maybe in a couple years, for like, you know, who knows, maybe he's thinking about retiring in a couple years, although he said he has a bunch of fights left in him. We'll see.
Hey, I mean, maybe he's looking forward for a easy payday, you know, in the future. Well, what do you think, Chicano? I mean, he seemed pretty, you know, I think Kenny's right. I think he thought about it. Was like, you know what? No, it's okay to believe in yourself. He kind of went that route.
Yeah, you know, Canelo, he's very comfortable speaking English in real time, taking on different questions. And, you know, when he was asked about Jake Paul, you know, somebody made a joke about how, well, hey, maybe it would be satisfying for people to see you knock Jake Paul out. And then Canelo laughed and was like, yeah, you're right. You know, people might like that. And I'll tell you, like, I would like it, but I don't dislike Jake Paul enough to want to see that fight. I think it is kind of a joke to be talking about those two fighters getting it on. Like, I think that Jake Paul has a whole hell of a lot to prove. I think if anybody who knows boxing has actually seen Jake Paul in the ring would know that to even think about this fight is a joke. So, I mean, although, you know, like Canelo did say in the interview too, yes, you know, Jake Paul is bringing eyes to the sport. So I don't know. He does kind of pick up Canelo's name a little bit, like when he's talking about Canelo on ESPN or other outlets. And I don't like that, but I mean, it does bring more attention to the sport overall. And I do appreciate that subtle aspect of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to ask you guys this. Do you think the Gennady Golovkin fight's a go? Can you think it's going to happen in September? Think it's a go?
It doesn't make sense for it to happen. But wasn't that part of the contract negotiation? First fight with Bebo, second fight with GGG, and then third fight with the question mark? I hope not. But he's even continued talking smack about Triple G, saying that, of course, he was going to beat Murata and so on and so forth. So I hope not. But if it does happen, I'm obviously going to watch. I thought Canelo was going to knock him out in the second fight. He didn't. So I'm all here for the KO. You know what I'm saying? Although I thought Triple G looked pretty decent against Murata. I'm here for the KO.
Hey,
I hope it doesn't happen, though.
What do you think, Chicano?
Yeah, man, I think it'll happen. And you know what? I am down for it. I love trilogies. First two fights were close, man. Although, you know, I'm like you, Desal. You know, I think that the second fight was clear. And both of those fights were entertaining. On top of that, you know, I keep hearing these Triple G fans, they just keep on talking. And they don't know what they're asking for. They're kind of like the Charlo fans. You know what I'm saying? And here's one thing that we do know. And I'm just going to say this ahead of time. And it's like I said on my show. The simple fact of the matter is that the only way Triple G can beat Canelo, and the Triple G fans know this and they won't say it, is if he goes out on his shield. And they already know that Triple G can't back Canelo up because we all know who's more chingon.
Damn. All right.
So you telling me that you would not rather see in the second fight of that 3-fight contract Canelo versus Beterbiev?
Oh, I would love that fight.
Hey, man, I'd like that fight too. But you know what? I'm at a point now where, you know,
but that fight makes you kind of nervous. That's what's going on right now. He gets nervous. You said Beterbiev. Have you seen like the Lion King where they say Mufasa, like hyenas? They get all like you know.
Hey, you know what?
Beterbiev.
There's always a new boogeyman of the week for Canelo. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I want to see the Beterbiev fight, especially if he beats Smith. By the way, I mean that fight would be for undisputed 175 pounds, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's a hell of a fight, but maybe we'll get that in December because I think the Triple G fight is a bye week. Like I think that's like a. I don't think it's going to be competitive. I get it. People keep talking about Marquez. They keep bringing up Pacquiao. And, oh, look at that fight. Nobody thought this. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed this pattern. And I said this to Chicano before. Whenever people like talk about like something happening, like, oh, it's going to be a tough fight because, and they give examples, like it never happens that way. It's when we least expect it. You know what I mean? And to me, like I just don't think Canelo at this point will struggle with Triple G. I just don't. I get that the first two fights were close and competitive, but Triple G just hasn't been the same to me. I've been watching him fight after fight, including the Murata fight. He hasn't looked the same, and he's only getting older. He's going to be almost 41 years old. Like I'm just saying, the dude's old. Like, you know what I mean? Like old, bro. Like, you know, I think Chicano's 41. He knows. You know what I mean? 41? No.
Younger than you, brother.
Okay, well, there you go. Maybe I should talk too much, but I know how it feels, bro. Like,
But how about the whole going up and down in weight thing?
for
You think for Canelo, you think he's gonna do that? The whole go because
I should have made this dude move up. He should have made. Oh, I know what you mean. Because he's gonna have to move back down to 168.
Yeah, to 160. Yeah. You
Well,
think he's gonna do that? It may affect him negatively. You know what I'm
maybe
saying?
Triple G should move up to 175. If he's so great.
That would be a terrible move.
Bernard Hopkins moved up. Like he moved up to fight Tarver, right? To 175. Close. I think he was 40 or close to 40. Around almost the same age. Like if he's great, like they say he is.
Hey, I mean, you're right.
You know, but he's the one that wants to fight, even though he says he doesn't want it. You know what I mean? But yes, I hope that we get a Peturbia fight for undisputed 175. I have one more question for you guys before I wrap this one up. Give me your final prediction. Okay, how is it going to go? Bivol, Canelo. How's that fight going to end, Kenny?
I got Canelo with a stoppage between rounds 9 and 11. I'm at 8 through 11.
Okay, so like a late round stoppage.
Yeah.
Mid to late round stoppage. Chicano, how do you got it, brother?
Very nice. You know, I see a late round stoppage as well. If I had to place a round on it, I would say probably round 10 by attrition. And I think it'll be a little bit of a surprise knockout like we've seen in the last two fights of Canelo's. But I think it'll be more of like a body shot combination. It'll kind of look like the Josecito Lopez knockout, kind of just like an accumulation of, oh, shit, you know, Canelo's got him. And we all know Canelo's an excellent finisher. So I see him hurting Bivol and then finishing him off.
Okay. I think Bivol will be up, like at least on my scorecard after 5 rounds. We'll see, but I think he'll be up early. Canelo takes over in the middle rounds, takes him out late. I think that's what's going to happen. Canelo has become one of the best finishers I've ever seen. He's really good at finishing fights, and that is a skill, like learning how to finish a dude.
Yep.
So I think he's going to finish Bivol. You know, that's how I see it. I do think Beterbiev will beat Smith. And then Beterbiev Canelo is the fight to make, in my opinion, at that point. Triple G's, he's just in the way at this point, isn't he? Just like in the way, like, dude, move the fuck out of the way, bro. Like Triple G and his fans, they're just like in the way, like, you know. With that said, Chicano, any final words, brother?
Hey, man, it's Cinco de Mayo weekend coming up. It's fight week. I want everybody to enjoy this fight.
It's Cinco de Mayo right now. You know what I mean? I'm about to have some shots of tequila and shit. You know what I mean? The whole 9. Kenny, any final words? Plugging this shit.
Word. Subscribe to my channel, Knocked Out by Kenny. And I also got my EP coming out May 13th. It's called All on the Table. Coming out May 13th on all streaming platforms. Support me, KO Kenny. Let's go. Let's get it. Thank you.
KO Kenny. There we go. This is D-Style Boxing, guys. I want to thank Chicano and Kenny for coming on. Great having you guys on, man. Like always, shout out to those guys. Subscribe to Knocked Out by Kenny here on YouTube. Subscribe to Chicano Prophet on YouTube as well for our Cheetah shows. Shout out to everybody in the chat that tuned in. I appreciate you guys' support. This is D-Style Boxing. Hit the like button. Enjoy the fights this weekend. I'm out. And that's it. Peace.